Rand Paul, hear me out on this. The Kentucky Republican senator and former presidential candidate has gone on record saying he will oppose this Obamacare repeal effort on part of Republicans. Not so much that he's against repealing Obamacare. He remains very much for repealing it, but doesn't like the mechanism that Republicans are using to do so. That is a budget resolution that he says will end up adding $9.7 trillion to our debt over the next 10 years. So he doesn't like the means by which they're going about that. All of this comes as he is wrapping up a meeting with the House Freedom Caucus, and we're told its members were not exactly overwhelmed by the message he was sending here, because it looks like they're not on the same page. I hasten to add here, this is just one guy, but in the Senate, I point out here that means the vote to repeal this effort is suddenly like a 51-47 versus a 52-48 deal. So it's close. With the numbers in the Senate now as close as they are, Republicans cannot afford to lose anyone else. And keep in mind, there are a number of Republicans, especially the moderate ones, who've been alarmed by this growing debt, and I actually want everything to be revenue neutral in the end when it comes to tax cuts. That is the message of Mitch McConnell, and any initiatives that are proposed out of this Republican Congress. So this could complicate efforts to repeal Obamacare. Reaction right now to Arizona Republican Governor Doug Ducey. Governor, very good to have you. This might be more...
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. This might be more parliamentarian gobbledygook, but what it essentially means is repealing this thing might not prove that simple. What do you make of this?
Well, I think that repeal is a good idea. This has been called the Affordable Care Act, but for Arizona, it's been anything but. We've got our premiums that are up 50% on average across the state, 100% in many places. I think we need to take care with what the replacement is, but Obamacare is not working. It's something that needs to be repealed. I do like what Leader McCarthy's doing. He's involving governors. He's reaching out and asking, and I know Vice President-elect Pence understands this as a former governor of how this is affecting the state. So I'm hopeful that governors will be at the table, that we'll see repeal of this, and then we'll have a conversation about what replace looks like.
Let me ask you, if this were to somehow fall through, at least in this first go-round, and Rand Paul lights a fire here under, conservatives to just reject the efforts because of the means by which they're trying to reject Obamacare, what then?
Well, Obamacare's been a monumental failure and a rolling disaster. The law is collapsing under the weight of what it's putting on the states. So Rand Paul can speak for himself, but as for me, I think that this law should be repealed, and I think governors and patients and doctors and all influencers should be at the table. What my advice to Congress would be is to read the bill before you pass it this next time. Healthcare has been in need of reform, and I'm hopeful that Arizona will have a place at the table to be a constructive part of an improvement.
All right. Now, Governor, you mentioned the fact that they should go ahead and repeal this, and I can understand the position you're in given the premium hikes that those in your state have been looking at, triple digits, about 116% in the latest go-round here. But having said that, there is this issue of 20+ million Americans who now have insurance. What do you recommend Republicans do for them? They do have a number of alternative plans out there. They haven't agreed on one that they can
sure. Well,
sort of gather on, but what would you recommend?
I don't want to pull the rug out from any of our Americans that have insurance or need insurance. I want to see affordable, accessible insurance for everyone. But before Obamacare, we had 20+ providers in the state of Arizona. Now we have 14 counties in our state that have only one provider. So we need more market choice and competition. We should be able to buy insurance over state lines. We should have availability for catastrophic insurance. We need flexibility at the state level. So I think this idea of health care is something we've needed an improvement on for some time. I know we can do better than what we have in Obamacare, and that's what this discussion
Governor,
very much...
I'm sorry, Ray, I want to be clear, sir. You obviously were for repealing this, but would you then wait to do anything else before, because part of repealing it would cut those 20 million off? What would you do or urge Republicans to do to keep that coverage for those people?
I am for repealing it and then taking care with the replacement. And repeal doesn't necessarily cut anyone off immediately. You can take some time. Like I said, the advice is to read the bill, to bring people to the table, to involve others, all the things that weren't done 8 years ago. So it's something that we want to be involved in here in Arizona. We have a large Medicaid population. So I think there's a way that you can do this and transition from a law that's not working to a law that will work for our citizens.
Governor, thank you for taking the time. We do appreciate it.